Hey there, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. After our orchid update today, I'm going to take you into my classroom at school and show you the terrarium that I put together last week. And a couple other YouTubers are doing something similar. Melissa Loves Orchids and El Pilar Orchids as well are classroom teachers that are going to show you around their classrooms today and the plants that they've got there. So I'll include those clips at the end of this video. But I am pretty excited about the fall bloomers in my tent. We'll start out right here with Bulbophyllum medusae. 5 spikes this year. This is the most it's had in a long time. And it's kind of doing this thing where the spikes get longer and longer and longer and longer, and I don't know when they're actually going to bloom. They could bloom at any point, really, but looking forward to finally seeing those. My other medusae, I'm not going to get to see, and I'm not going to get to show you guys because I took it to a professional photographer to be photographed this week, so I'll be picking it up tomorrow probably, and the blooms will probably be done on it. The next big bloom we've got coming is Cycnoches cooperi. And this plant I'm also taking to get photographed. So I don't think we're going to get to see this one in full bloom either. Because, yeah, just the way the timing's going to work. But it's okay. There's 28 flowers on it. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. And the footage that we get from the professional studio is going to be so much nicer than anything I could do here in my tent. So I'm really excited about the results of that and being able to show you what ends up happening with that. A couple more Cycnoches. We've got Cycnoches nebula with its speckled flowers. You can see the buds are already starting to speckle up. Then we've also got Cycnoches bronze vixen as well. Now, as you know, I've got a bit of a mite problem right now, and so I've tried a few things to just kind of knock back the population of mites. And that has been anywhere from 2 rounds of mite predators to spraying with neem oil. And this most recent thing that I've done was I bought some insecticidal soap. Now, I know that you can buy this, you can make your own, but I was reading that the ingredients that you find in the stuff that you can buy, it's more precise and potentially more effective. So I said, okay. And this bottle was only, I think it was $6. So I sprayed all the leaves. I really tried to keep it off of the buds, but unfortunately it did get on a couple of the buds. And let me just show you real quick what happens. I feel like a lot of things, no matter what it is, insecticides, oils, that kind of stuff, when you spray it on developing buds, what I find is that the buds open prematurely. You find little buds that are not developed yet, and you find that they start to split open prematurely. Now, I don't think that when the things are fully bloomed out, you may not even really be able to tell which ones it was. It depends on kind of how far along they were. But that's something to keep in mind as these guys are blooming out. Cloecia Rebecca Northern Mikabe. It's got 3 beautiful spikes pushing out here, and I need to take this guy out of the tent and clean out all that sawdust just to make it appear a little bit nicer. Cycnoches varsovicii has actually started to push its spikes as well. You can see one there on the right side, and there's also one on the left side that seems to be poking up down here, right here. So that's super exciting. Now, some unexpected surprises. A few weeks ago, Cycnoches Fire Embers, back here, was awarded, and it is pushing out not 1 but 2 more spikes, it looks like. You can see on the right side there, and then the next notch down on the left, you can also see it's trying to push out 2 more spikes. So that's insane. I mean, to have an awarded double spike display and then immediately start pushing 2 more spikes, unbelievable. And then also really exciting is that my copper clone of Cycnoches cooperi also seems to be pushing, or trying to push, a new spike. You can kind of see in that little leaf axil down there. There's some action happening. So we'll see how far those get and if they actually do end up blooming out again. That'd be amazing. Telling you, Cygnotches is my happy place with these orchids. They're easy to grow, for me at least, in these conditions. Tons of flowers, huge flowers, fragrant flowers, and they bloom more than once. What more could you possibly want? And for 4 or 5 months of the year, you can just ignore them. You just stick them in the corner. They don't do anything. So I like. Another plant I'm really impressed with. This is Masdevallia Machu Picchu. I got it from Golden Gate Orchids back in May, and it has bloomed all summer. It came with a spike actually, and in the past couple months, it's put out several new growths, and several of those new growths are now spiking. So far, I've managed to find 5 more spikes coming up on this thing. So basically, since I got it in May, here we are in October, and we've just had flowers and spikes coming that whole time. That's really awesome. I don't have any other flowers or orchids, I think, that are that floriferous. Now, it is a hybrid. It's a primary hybrid, but it's okay. And it's doing okay in the tent, even though the leaves are a little speckly, I assume because of the heat. You know, as we get closer towards winter, those temperatures are gonna get cooler and cooler, and I mean, I would say the plant looks okay. Looks decent. So yeah, really excited about that. All right, one more really exciting development that I don't want to get too hopeful about, but fingers are crossed, is Taliatrione cations. If you look in the base of this sheath here, there is some kind of little shadow down here. It seems like something's going on in there. Even if it's one single bud, that would be cool. I would love to see something come out of cations this year. It's definitely a huge plant, and it's like it needs to be divided, and it's not even bloomed yet. But anyway, you can see how huge the bulbs are. Okay, oh, one more plant, my Rhyncholalia aristocrat. This is another primary hybrid, and it's really going to town. It's got 2 new growths. You can see on the right side down here, there's like a little nubbin pushing up, and then there's another more advanced growth on the right there. So with any luck, both of those growths will bloom in the winter around January or February, just when you need those flowers the most. All right, that's about it. I'm going to take you into my classroom now and show you the terrarium that I was working on last week. Hey there, welcome to my classroom. And this is the aquarium that one of the science teachers gave me. And you can see it's quite enormous. So I've got some materials here, and I'm going to start work today on trying to put together a terrarium that would look nice in the class. I don't have any experience doing this, and I am not a very engineering kind of person. I kind of like to throw things together and whatever works. So this is not going to be fancy, but I do have a high standard of what I want it to look like in the end. But in my opinion, that's going to depend more on how the plants are arranged and grown rather than how it's put together. But we will see. So I've got this material that I got at Home Depot as lighting, like a lighting fixture screen, and that's going to help me create layers. And then I've got this foam to go between the layers to act as kind of a filter, so dirt doesn't filter down into the water. I've got some random pieces of cork and Mopani wood. I've got some gutter filter material, and I've got some little pieces of PVC pipe that have been cut into 3-inch lengths to kind of stand up and hold the different layers, kind of like a wedding cake. And then one of my students' parents actually sent me a bunch of plants that I can try to grow in the terrarium as a start. I really like this one. It's labeled Palmera, but I couldn't find anything about Palmera, and it looks like some kind of a begonia to me, but we'll see what it is. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of work, and then I will get back in here and show you what I've done. Alright, so I've made a huge mess cutting up foam, and I've ended up with this kind of a shape, so kind of a valley type situation with higher on one side, lower on another side, and just kind of placing the pieces of wood in there. I might move them around a little bit more, but the foam is substantial enough that I skipped this step of making tiers out of this firmer material because it's faster and I don't feel like cutting this stuff up. So we'll see what happens. I don't anticipate that the foam is going to compress too much, and I'm hoping that it's going to wick water up as well for the plants, but we will see. So here's where we are right now. Okay, so the planting part is actually done for now. I just kind of sprinkled sphagnum in there. I arranged little rocks and love my little bridge, not rocks, but my pieces of wood, cork, that kind of stuff. And now we're just gonna put water in the bottom here. I got a little fogger to fog up the bottom, and we're almost there. Okay, here it is. Put my little plants in here. Got some moss. Everything's nice and wet. No idea what's gonna happen. We're just gonna let it grow.